So, it's an exhausting time to be a caring and informed citizen. I have changed what I prepared for this homily many times, and Friday night, I thought, I'll just call Josh and Justin and we'll just sing some songs. Because what is there to say? I do have things to say, and talk a little bit about what's happening around us and a little more about our UU values that are so beautifully on display here. And then share a little bit about my work in the UUA's Global Connections office. And I do hope that I will pull the thread of inclusion through it all, though I make no promises today. When the theme of inclusion was chosen a year ago, there is no imagination that could have seen a governmental assault on DEI. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. And it's bad. It is. And in this room, thank you, Kent, for lifting that up, and Scott, there are government workers and teachers and immigrants and folks who are trans and non-binary and people of color, people in this room whose identity is being targeted. It's cruel, it's scary, it's anti-American, it's wrong. You are beautiful and whole and loved, and you will be held and you will be protected. In this room and in Unitarian Universalist spaces, we center love as the power that holds us together. And equity is one of our explicit values, and diversity and inclusion are implicit in other values like pluralism and justice and interdependence. I found this definition of inclusion from the University of Virginia that I liked, and I want to share a piece of it with you. Inclusion is the outcome of a welcoming environment that incorporates diverse perspectives and equitable practices to ensure that all people participate in decision-making. That all people participate in decision-making. I'll be coming back to that. The definition continues, diversity is not the same as inclusion. Diversity is the presence and acceptance of differences, whereas inclusion is the active, intentional, and ongoing engagement with diversity to achieve a culture which different people can come together to work, feel comfortable and confident in them, to be themselves, and feel valued. Come together to work, feel comfortable and confident to be themselves and to feel valued. For Unitarian Universalists, that is the core of who we are and how we express our faith in the world. As I shared in the Time for All Ages, Unitarian Universalist history is filled with examples of inclusion, and our movement has long been committed to expanding justice and compassion and equity. For years now, we have celebrated the 30 Days of Love. Does anyone know about that? The 30 Days of Love. And it's celebrated from Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which we will continue to observe no matter what anyone tells us. 30 days from Martin Luther King Jr. Day to Valentine's Day, filled with love. There is an office at the Unitarian Universalist Association, the Side with Love organizing strategy team, that's dedicated to this work, to advocacy and reflection and bringing the congregations into this. Today, in the 30 Days of Love, we hear that Trans people are divine. I want to share what the 30 Days of Love has. Trans and non-binary people have always been here. Acknowledging this calls us to honor them as vital and irreplaceable members of the human family and essential threads in the divine tapestry of creation. We affirm this not just as a response to oppression, but as a truth that has always existed. Their presence is a testament to the enduring power of transformation and creation, defying the forces that seek to constrain them and teaching us all how to manifest a more liberated future. I have never been prouder to be a Unitarian Universalist, maybe, because I know that we are all here ready for this moment. Inclusion is not just a moral ideal for us, but it is a lived practice that has been strengthening our communities for a long time and transforming from one congregation into their local community, into their neighborhoods, into their state, transforming the world one step at a time. Can we see the word cloud again? And if you see love really big, it's because Ken's been there entering love a million times. Okay, get your binoculars out. But, okay, I'll just, I'll give you a minute to try. Can we zoom in again, Chloe? Okay, Chloe's gonna make that happen for us. Thank you. And we'll keep this up for a little while so we can appreciate it. Inclusion is a spiritual practice. We believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person because we believe that what is holy and good in this world is within each person. And we do all of this, we'll see again, welcoming, loving, accepting, hospitality, hugs, potlucks, all of that is holy work. It takes intention and self-reflection and deep listening, and I know that this congregation, I know that we do this. Unitarian Universalism embraces religious pluralism, welcomes people from diverse backgrounds, and this openness has long required inclusion to create a place where people feel truly valued and welcome. Do we fall short? Yes. Do we have a perfect history? No. But in these days, now, I think it's time to celebrate what we get right and that we have really done tremendous things. Whenever we have the word cloud, we'll take it. But you don't need the word cloud because, again, it's in you. All of that is in you all the time. No matter who the president is or what nonsense executive orders they sign, we will continue to celebrate diversity, to create equitable communities. We will continue to value individuals and the wonderful things that make them who they are. Things like where they were born and who they love and how they express themselves in the world. We will respond to this moment by responding to the needs of our neighbors, and we'll stand strong. I know that we will. And we'll take care of each other. We will resist the manufactured overwhelm. We will each choose one or two things to pay attention to because we cannot pay attention to it all. And we will trust that the person sitting next to us is paying attention to one or two more, and the person next to them has a couple more issues. And when they call us and say the time is now, I need you here, we'll show up. And they'll do the same when we call about our issue. Because we are welcoming, accepting, loving, hugging, potlucking people. I found this reflection today, not today. I have a 5-year-old. There's no writing sermons in the early morning anymore. A short reflection this week from Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She's a Mexican-American writer whose book name just escaped my head, about wolves. What is it, wolves? Running with the wolves? Women who run with wolves. That's right, thank you. She just turned 80 this week. So I'm just share a little bit of what she says to your soul. One of the most calming and powerful actions you can do to intervene in a stormy world is to stand up and show your soul. Soul on deck shines like gold in dark times. The light of the soul throws sparks, can send up flares, builds signal fires, causes proper matter to catch fire. To display the lantern of soul in shadowy times like these, to be fierce and to show mercy towards others, both are acts of immense bravery and greatest necessity. Struggling souls catch light from each other, catch light from other souls who are fully lit and willing to show it. If you would help to calm the tumult, this is one of the strongest things you can do. The light of the soul throws sparks, and here we are, a lot of sparks. Brave souls. And what I hope you'll hear in this message today is that there is a time coming where you will need to act. There is. But for now, for this moment, for this hour together, you are already acting radically by being in this space, by living these, by really meaning it. And it is unfathomable to us that there are so many people around us who don't have this already in their hearts. Because it's what we strive to do. It's not just a value, it's who we are. So I feel quite honored to be taking our values and your values into a global space. And I'll tell you, our global cousins in faith are worried about us, and they watch the news maybe even more than we do. Sometimes I learn about things because someone has texted me from around the world. If you're sitting here surprised to learn that there are UUs around the world, there are. We don't have a central authority like the Pope. And if you were to look at a map, you would find that there are some communities where people from the United States of America have moved around the world and established a community, but there are many more that are organic to their local context. Some predate us, like in Transylvania and the United Kingdom, and others that formed in their own context, like in the Philippines and in India. And then if you were looking at a map, you'd find emerging groups in Brazil and Burundi, and long-established groups in Indonesia and South Africa, New Zealand, all around the world. And you can mark your calendars on April 13th, when 40 teenagers from Transylvania, Hungarian Unitarians, are coming to River Road to lead the service that day. So they're the choir from the high school. April 13th. So we have a chance to learn and be together. And we have different ways of organizing, and my work, what I really want to say, and forget what's on this page. Okay, what I really want to say is that Americans can be kind of bossy, kinda. We have good ideas, we have a lot of money, we have a lot of influence that we don't always yield appropriately. So even though we have these values, even though we're working with our best intentions, sometimes we do fall short. And I feel like that's a reminder for me to not get too comfortable either. To continue to think about the ways that we find people, that we make room for people to participate in decision making. That inclusion, remember that definition, that inclusion is about allowing people, accepting people, welcoming people into the decision-making process. So in the Global Connections office, our team is really committed to whatever time that takes. Americans love a weekend retreat and a strategic plan, and the rest of the world doesn't operate that way, so we don't do that. We take time, we build relationship, we make time for conversation, and we listen, and we build consensus. And I don't ever want to hear Robert's Rules of Order quoted to me ever again. I am over Robert and his rules. Exactly. See? Over it. So there are lots of ways that we can make space and resist some of those things that happen to us when we live in this country. Things like only working 9 to 5, because you know what? My workday doesn't align with other workdays, and maybe I'm the one who needs to shift the time of day that I work. And I know that a lot of us are leaving Facebook, and I understand why, and I'm tempted, but Facebook is a really great tool, a way that a lot of people use communication, especially like the UU Church of the Philippines doesn't even have a website. They're exclusively on Facebook, and they organize themselves on Facebook. So I think we have to be thoughtful about the decisions we're making now, knowing that we exist in a broader world and that we do have to stay connected. I did spend 90 minutes changing all of my settings in Facebook, trying to turn off all my ads and tracking and privacy stuff, so you can do that. I don't know, does Zuckerberg care? No. But maybe it's one less penny going to his bank account. And money is complicated. Money makes the world go round. It's the root of all evil. We have all of these phrases for a reason. So I think another commitment from my office, from the work of the UUA, and so the work that we're doing on your behalf in the world, is to have different conversations about money, about charity, about, Americans, we love to give money and we are so generous, but we usually have a good idea or two about how we should spend it. So one of our congregations, for example, in India, one of the American groups said, oh, well, we're going to give you $5,000, which is a lot of money, to build a toilet, a Western toilet. Well, they didn't need a Western toilet. The Americans who came to visit every 4 years felt more comfortable on a Western toilet. So now they have a Western toilet that nobody uses. So we can do better. We can. And we will, and we keep leading with our values and keep being in conversation in community, keep building what we do best, our inclusive world. We have been doing this a long time. We know how to do this. We know how to admit when we're not quite right. We're not good at it. But we can get better. We can learn sometimes. We can grow. But we have to now. We have to be brave. We have to admit that we don't know everything. We can't be the other extreme either. We have to, I did say to Scott, I am done being nice. For now, I'm done. Yeah, my father-in-law is not coming to my house for a while. I'm over it. But I'm ready to be in conversation if it could be civil, if it could go anywhere. I'm willing to do that. But for now, I have much bigger worries, like my neighbors and my elementary school international night, where the PTA is wondering if we should organize parents to stand out front, because will ICE be targeting the elementary school international night? How do we live in this world? But we're in this together, and I know if they do, I will call you, and you will be there. I know that. And that is so heartening, so encouraging, and that is really what I want you to hold on to today. That we are on this journey, we are in this struggle. There are so many people beyond this room, beyond this county, beyond this state, all around the world. There are people just like you, Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists, who are worried, who are coming together, who are sharing our lives, and who are making this a better place. So, whatever it said on these pages, I don't know. But that's what I wanted to say to you today. Thank you. Thank you.